Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
From a place of understanding of our own roots. These are the things about Ifa that you never knew. So the next time you are fighting an Ifa priest and trying to prove that your religion is better, understand the fact that an Ifa priest does not represent a religion.
Ẹ jẹ́ kọ́rọ̀ wa kó jọ yé wa ká gbọ́ra wa yékéyéké. Èmi ń gba òròmọdìẹ ẹ̀yin lọ́wọ́ ọkù ni kì í sì ṣe mi nìkan. Gbogbo àwọn tó ń la ẹnu tí wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní wákàtí ìpè kẹ́ ẹ mọ́ wọ oko ẹrú tẹ́ ẹ wà, ìpè ká fara wa jáde kúrò nínú ìgbèkùn tí wọ́n mú gbogbo wa sí, kì í ṣe torí ń tá a jẹ mọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ, n tí mo fi sílẹ̀ ó ju nǹkan tí wọ́n lè mú lé mi lọ́wọ́ pé kí n wá gbà láti wá ta nǹkan ń pè ní ẹ̀rí ọkàn. Ṣé rí gbogbo àwọn àfáà yín, ìbá ṣe ní ìjọ kiriyó ni, ìbá ṣe tàwọn lárúbáwá ni ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí. Ó ṣe dídán, ó ṣe wá jẹ́ wípé òótọ́ ò kì í jáde lẹ́nu wọn mọ́. Gbogbo wọn ti jẹ dòdò, wọn ò lè sọ dòdò. Ṣé ra wa tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ má wò wá níwò pé à ń fọwọ́ júwe. Kò sí ní tó jọ. Wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ẹ̀yà ju bí mo ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ Yorùbá lọ. Ìfẹ́ yín tí mo ní ni ò jẹ́ ń lè tà yín, ó ní ò.
An Ifa priest does not represent a religion. An Ifa priest represents education, represents technology, represents traditional medicine, represents language, culture, tradition, food, healthy living, and every other wonderful thing that comes with our life. That is what we are fighting for. So for those of you that have asked me before and are asking me again, what's the essence of this Ifa college? If you learn it, what are you going to become? These are the things that you are going to learn, and these are the things that you are going to become. This is what it is. So let's wrap up our teaching today. We've been here for 3 hours and 1 minute. This is what we are fighting for. So the knowledge, this is the reason we want Ifa to be taught in schools. This is the reason we want them to give us a fair playing ground. This is the reason, this and many more. This is why we are encouraging everybody to go back to their roots, not because of religion. Ifa has not commissioned anybody to go into all the world and preach the gospel and build a church and fill it up. No. So trust me, for pastors and preachers and imams and whatever it is that you're called, and you think that all this teaching on Ifa is coming to take away from your church. If what you are teaching your people is the truth, you are not scared that they are going to leave. They are adults. Some of them have been there for 30 years. You think somebody will know the truth for 30 years and will fall for a lie? Not exactly. Even if they deceive him, the moment he finds out, he will leave. So if you guys are so sure that what you are teaching is the truth, then what is the fear? What are you afraid of? What you are afraid of is that people will find out what the truth is. They will start to question so many things that they have been brainwashed about. People will receive the courage to ask you people questions because you are hiding under touch not my nothing and do my prophet no harm. Don't question the man of God. You don't know the things that God taught. Remove that clause. Give people create an enabling environment for people to question you, to challenge all of these things. And look at how many people are there. Let them remove the clause of hellfire. That imaginary hellfire that they created to put fear into people's life. Let them remove the clause of hellfire and see what is happening. And see how people will. Let people choose it out of free will, based on knowledge. Let them return back to their roots and examine what it looks like. And let's see if they will still choose all of these things. Look at people now. Look at content creators, people in the entertainment world, people in real estate, making money. People are not paying attention to school anymore. Now, when I say school, I mean Western education. I mean Western schools. I don't mean education. So I'm not here saying that, you know that phrase that people use, so education is not a scam. Education is not a scam, but Western education is. It is conditioning your mind to, you cannot question anything. You are raised not to see things that don't align. You cannot question it. Everything put together is what made us who we are. And people will tell you that it is tradition that made children not to be able to question. No, it's not tradition. It is not African tradition. You see, what you have today as tradition, you need to understand that what people are practicing today as tradition has been infiltrated for centuries with Westernization and religion. Last week, on Friday, I mentioned this patriarchy thing going on. You will be delusional to think that patriarchy is African. Patriarchy is not African tradition and culture. Patriarchy is Westernization. Patriarchy is religion. African culture, African spirituality, African tradition does not treat women this way. But what you have right now, that people are, the people practicing culture and tradition right now are people that have given to religion, that was born into it, people that have been Westernized. So whatever tradition that they are practicing right now is not a true definition of who we are. It is a mix and match. So when we are fighting for this, we are fighting to return back to our roots the way it was. This, give us another 5 years. In Nigeria, for example, give Ifa another 5 years. He said a lot of women hold this patriarchy thing over our head. Oh, yes, because that's what the society is holding over their own heads too. But like I said, that's not even which is why you will never find me speaking on any feminist, whatever. The problem is not feminist, it's not feminism, I mean patriarchy. The problem is everything that they sold. The problem is that we have been disconnected from our roots. Return back to your roots. You see all of these things that we are addressing one by one. Everything will clear out. It's like somebody that is showing symptoms of cough, of runny nose, of headache, of this. All of those symptoms, when you get to the root cause of that sickness and you take care of that root cause, all of the symptoms will go. You don't have to be fighting the symptoms one by one. That's why we say our fight is not against religion, it's not against patriarchy, it's not advocating for femininity and gender. That is, all of those things are branches and fruits that is an offspring of something that is deeper than that. What we are fighting for is deeper than that. What we are concerned about is the root. Change the root and see if the branches and the fruits will not change. All this patriarchy, feminism thing is a distraction. You cannot completely deal with patriarchy and install whatever it is you think is called gender equality if you do not completely take away the things that is funding it. If you do not completely disassociate yourself from the roots of that thing, you will just be cutting off a tree and hoping that the next branch that is going to spring up will be different. This is what we are fighting for. This is what our constant talking and talking is. This is the reason why I established Ifa College. It's not to raise more babalawos. We can have more babalawos as people are returning to Ifa. They will need more people to take care of them. But that is not the reason. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It is having us claim back everything that was taken away from us. It is us correcting the misconceptions that were sold to us. So you, as a Yoruba Muslim, Yoruba Christian, you are first Yoruba. Just like you have African American, Chinese American, they were first African and Asian before they migrated to America. You are first Yoruba, and this is a fight of Yoruba, is a fight of Ifa, is a fight of the entire race and continent. This is not a religion. Religion is a distraction. No. Let me tell you, the fight of religion is a distraction. It's a distraction. It is exactly, it's a fight for our identity, who we are. Because trust me, we have lost the definition of that. We have lost the definition of that. When somebody has to define himself by religion, by their university degree, by the language that they speak, which is foreign, by their clothing, which is foreign, who are you? Away from everything that reflects Westernization and everything Western, who are you? What is your roots? Ancestors have been speaking with to so many people. They are currently dealing with one of my clients. He sent me a video yesterday. He was literally in tears, a grown man who doesn't cry. He was literally in. When I was explaining something to you on Friday, I said, when ancestors starts with you, when spirit starts with you, everybody around you will think something is wrong. He sent a message to me yesterday. He said, this is not a fight for religion. All they are telling me is that we should remember. We should remember. Remember who you are. Remember how you started. Remember how you did education. Remember how we took care of our health. Remember our language. Remember our food. Remember our dressing. Remember how we handled our genders. Remember how we parented, how we raised our children. Remember how we took care of our environment. Remember how we built community and family. Remember how we interacted and valued ourselves. Remember who you are. That is what this is about. Sharing. In everything that you do, ask yourself, how did our forefathers do it? Start to make research. How did our forefathers do it? Ask yourself, how did our forefathers do it? I know not all of us can abandon our regular lives right now and be able to go and do research. I'm not saying read up what one Oyibo person wrote about us. I mean, get the truth about us. So there is this brand that sells Yoruba caps. The man visited Ikongosi, the confluence of the warm and cold spring in Ekiti State, right? And then the woman was telling the story. The woman he met there was, narrating the story of the water. And then he said that two women, turned into the water. And then I see comment section. This thing is just natural, pure science. No woman turned into water. I said, coming from. So I asked the person, why don't you believe? It was in the comment section. Why don't you believe that it was actually a woman or two women that turned into that water? He said, these things are not true. I said, okay, are you Christian or Muslim? He said, he's Christian. I said, you believe that Lot's wife turned into salt, but you don't believe that in our ancestral history, somebody turned into that water. Where is the proof? I said, where is the proof that Lot's wife turned into salt? I guess we don't have. You see conditioning. You see what is either you don't believe it or you believe it. Some people don't believe in the existence of divinity. They are atheists. They believe just in science. Right? And that's okay. But you cannot choose to believe it one side and not believe it on one side. If you can believe the Bible, trust me, you can believe everything that is in Ifa, because is the same. It takes spirituality to be able to understand it too. It takes your imagination to be able to understand it too. So if you believe that Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt, then trust me, you should believe that Orisha Oshun is also a living person. If you believe that Jesus spoke to the water and he said, "Peace be still," and the water heard him and obeyed, water has intelligence to hear. You also believe that when we go to Oshun River and we make appeasement to Oshun, Oshun can also hear us. You should believe that. It's the same thing. Except that this one, we have physical proof. You don't have physical proof of your own. That's the difference. But you should believe it. So you should understand where this conditioning is coming from. Understand where this conditioning is coming from. Ifa is not a fight of religion. Even after you have left church and you say, "I've done my Tefa, I identify with Tefa," your journey in knowledge has just started. They will agree till tomorrow. They will agree till tomorrow at the end of the day. They will use their back to come to Ifa. So for those of us, they will argue till tomorrow. So for those of us that have started coming back, what you are coming to meet in Ifa, or what you are supposed to be coming to your root for, is more than just, "I have a problem and Ifa fixed it." That's just one minute part of it. It's about finding yourself and the way of life that was practiced by your people, their way of life before all of these things came in. As you come back to Ifa, you learn Yoruba language. We will continue to give you the information that is necessary in English while you learn. You learn Yoruba language. As you come into Ifa, you find out, how did our forefathers do education? How did they do education? How were we taught? When you get into Ifa College, you will see a program titled Ifa STEM, Ifa Coding. Ifa STEM is science, technology, engineering, art, and maths in Ifa. Take your time to study it. Find the technology, the science, and the physics that is in Ifa. Learn it. Study these things with a mind that is not conditioned to, "I just want to learn it." I see a lot of people on YouTube reciting Odrifas, and somebody will say, "Can you do Odrifa Onwori Otura for us?" And people are reciting Odrifa. Ayoyogu, ayoyogu, ayoyogu mogumo. Adifa fún Mila. Nígbà tí bàbá lọ rè ń bá wọn mú yọ̀yọ́ra, ẹbọ láwo ní kó mú ṣe. Ó gbẹ́bọ níbẹ̀, ó rúbọ. Àwa tá a bá wọn mú yọ̀yọ́ra, ọ̀rọ̀ ayọ̀ ló bá wa, ọ̀rọ̀ ìbànújẹ́ kan kì í báyọ̀. I know how wonderful and sweet that sounds. And I know how much you want to memorize it and be able to also make your own video and talk about it. Ọ̀yẹ̀kú mo bá ọ múlẹ̀, má mà ṣe dà mí. Inú bíbí ẹrú ní ń pẹrú, ẹ̀dọ̀ fùfù ìwọ̀fà ní ń pàwọ̀fà. Adífá fún Òfúà ńgbà tí ń bẹ láàrin ọ̀tá ayé, ẹbọ láwo ní kó mú ṣe. Ó gbẹ́bọ níbẹ̀, ó rúbọ. Tí ikú bá ń ṣẹgbẹ́ mi pa, ọ̀tọ̀ ní kí ọ̀yẹ̀kú ó máa sàmí sí. Tí àrùn bá ń ṣẹgbẹ́ mi ṣe, ọ̀tọ̀ ní kí ọ̀yẹ̀kú ó máa sàmí sí. Gbogbo aláwẹ̀ obì ní kú ń pa, ọ̀tọ̀ là ń yọ Òfúà obì sí. Ikú má pawó mọ́, ikú yẹ̀ lórí awo. Kárùn má pawó mọ́, àrùn yẹ̀ lórí awo. That's Odrifa Ọ̀yẹ̀kú méjì. It sounds very interesting. And we say Ashe and we make the prayer. But you and I, Ifa is much more than that recitation. Those old Ifa is much more than what you are seeing right now. Is much more than that. There are a lot of things that is embedded in those things that I just read to you right now. So as you are coming, you are studying, you are gaining knowledge. Ifa is not a destination, it is a journey, it is lifestyle. You read those SFA and ask yourself, what does it say about relationships? What does it say about health? What does it say about dressing? What does it say about parenting? What does it say about architecture, about law, about this, about that? It is more than all of those things. It's more than just making a video and reciting SFA and everybody is happy. It's more than that. It's about finding who you are. It's about following the steps of that thing as it traces you back to your roots, to your identity. It's about you defining yourself as the person that you are. You are not born African or born black by accident. So you desperately wanting to be Hebrew and Jew and from Zion and Arab, you will never become them. Unfortunately, never become them. You will never become them. This is who you are. Except your religion is telling you that God made a mistake by creating you as an African and you desperately want to. Abraham is our ancestor. It doesn't, it makes you look stupid. It makes you look dumb. It makes you look ignorant and it doesn't look good. It is disgraceful when you say things like that. It makes you look like somebody that is not knowledgeable. You have dressed nice like this. You have worn fine dress. You are carrying gold. Your wristwatch is ice. You come out of your fine car. And then you open your mouth and say, Abraham is our ancestor. It doesn't look good on you. It doesn't. Let's call a spade a spade. It makes you look stupid. Because how is Abraham your ancestor? Do you know who an ancestor is? An ancestor is one of your forefathers. How did you move from Nigeria to Israel or to Jew? How? If God wanted Abraham to be your ancestor, you will be born in that side of the world. He's God, he could have done it. Except we want to establish the fact that your God is confused and he made mistake. Then when you came into this world, he now needed something to correct the mistake that he made. So if you do not consider that your God can make a mistake, then you need to begin to ask questions. Why am I Yoruba? Why was I created? Why was I born to Yoruba people? You need to start asking those obvious questions. That's when you will look like your daddy did not waste school fees. Because right now, if I'm your daddy or your mommy, ma ko àwọn pé wọ́n ti fowó ṣòfò lórí ilé ṣá. Torí tó bá fowó ṣòfò lórí yín, báwo lè ṣe máa sọ pé Abraham is your ancestor? Ẹ wá sọ pé Ògún and Ṣàngó is demonic, èṣù is Satan. Èṣù tá mọ̀ bí tí ìran ẹ ti ṣẹ̀ wá o. Ṣàngó, that was a king of Ọ̀yọ́ empire that we have in history o. Yẹn dímọ̀ Abraham tó mọ̀ rí, tí ò mọ ìran díran ẹ kankan rí. Ó ti di your ancestor. How? Where is that reflected in any aspect of your life? Is it in the texture of your hair, or in the color of your skin, or is it in your language? Is it in your DNA? Is it in your blood group? Is it in your passport? Wọ́n tún ní fún yín passport o. Wọ́n ní fún yín o. Abraham is your ancestor. It's when you say things like that, it's an insult. We claim it. We are claiming it. Let's keep claiming it. It's an insult on how intelligent you are supposed to be. It doesn't look good. Let's stop it. Practice the religion you want to practice. Is okay. Nobody really cares about that. But there are certain things that you should not do. It doesn't speak well of you. It doesn't. Your children will start to ask you, Mommy, how are we related to Abraham? How? Draw the family tree. They will start asking you very soon. When they start, this 2025. Oh. Let's stop all these things. This 2025. We are a new creature. That's one thing that we when I was a pastor in Christ Embassy, that's one thing that we preach a lot. You are a new creature, you are a new species without a past. Sometimes when I think about it right now, I feel ashamed that with the level of exposure and intelligence that I have, that I've always had, I feel bad that I was a part of that because it sounds stupid. And they say it is spiritually. Spiritually what? Spiritually what? If spiritually you are not a Nigerian, excuse me, if spiritually you are now from Zion, why are the village people? You are not from that village again. No? Take for instance, your family hailed from Ijebu-Jesha. The moment you become born again, you are no longer Ijebu-Jesha. You are now a new creation. All things are passed away and all things have become new. Why are you still fighting with the village people of Ijebu-Jesha? Why are you still in church praying against the village people of Ijebu-Jesha? Remember that you are not from there again. They don't know you. They don't have record of you. You have become a new creation. In fact, to the people of Ijebu-Jesha, you never existed. So they don't have any business with you. Why are they still fighting you? Why are you still in a war with them? Why are you still blaming them for the things that happened to you? If the new creation from Zion, exactly, if the people that you now come from is Zion, then if they are those Zion people, they are the one that is doing you right now. Ijebu people does not have any business with you because you have disowned them. They don't know you. They don't even have you in their record anymore because you are now from Zion. So why are they still fighting you? Why is the grandmother in the village still appearing to you in your dream and removing the baby in your womb and drinking it? Why? The day you changed citizenship, they could not change all of that one for you. It does not look good though. It sounds very stupid. It does not look good on you. We are supposed to have grown past some things. There are some things that we're supposed to have unanimously agreed that this doesn't make sense. Let's stop this one. This one is obsolete. Now our eyes are opened. We're supposed to have agreed on that. But no. We are still there. We are still playing Kimi. Anyways, Ifa is more than all of those things. Oh. Our ancestors, like Jane said, the Oduifa that was cast for the entire world, Oduifa ta dá fún gbogbo àgbáyé, this year, the Yoruba calendar year that was cast this year, is Oduifa Uturupo Meji. If you don't know what that Oduifa for the new year, it is the year of our ancestors. Oduifa Uturupo Meji was speaking about our ancestors. And we can see what is happening. See how ancestors are bringing people back home. How ancestors are interacting with people, speaking to people, irrespective of the position that they hold in their religious organization. The ancestors are halting people's lives and giving them messages, pointing them back to things that they could never have known. This is the year of the ancestors. And your ancestors want you to remember who you are. They don't care about religion at this point. They care about knowledge. They want you to remember who you are. to remember your roots. It is the year that your ancestors are awakening you, asking you, how long do you want to deceive yourself and live in this deception? How long do you want to continue to be like this?
Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
This is the year that they are asking you. People lied to you, yes. They deceived us, yes. But how long do you want to continue to lie to yourselves and lie to your own people and continue to fund that deception? How long? So those of you that think that if people are coming for your religion, then it is not, it is more than that. It is you. Ifa is calling for you as a person. It's calling for you as a person. It's calling for you to return to your roots and identify who you are. When you go back to your roots, a lot of these societal problems and everything turning upside down that we have, the answers are there. I was speaking to a pastor friend, asking him what has Christianity done for him, what has Jesus done for him. The first sentence that the person gave is, the Bible brought me to the acknowledgement of sin and took the weight of sin away. I'm like, I told the guy, I said, please don't speak to me in Bible grammar. This thing you just said now, interpret it in modern day English, normal English. Bible brought you to the knowledge of sin. It's Bible that made you know that when you steal, it is wrong. It's Bible that lets you know that you should not unalive another human being. It's Bible that lets you know that when you sleep with somebody else's wife is wrong. No problem. I told the guy, I said, just say these things in clear English terms and say it back to yourself in front of a mirror and listen to yourself and tell me, how does it sound? When I got born again, it lifted the weight of sin. Oh God. And you needed religion. If you needed religion to tell you that you are coming from what you needed was not religion. What you needed was a psychiatrist. What you needed was psychiatrist. What you needed was mental evaluation. Because the man that we are speaking about is about 30-something. If a 30-something-year-old man did not know since age 6 or 7, even your 5-year-old, when you tell them don't touch this and they want to touch it, they watch you and they make sure you are not there because they know what they are doing is wrong. And if you catch them, they will lie because they know what they are doing is wrong. They did not need Bible to tell them that. And dude went ahead to say, I have so many people that I have healed in the name of Jesus. Congratulations. Let me show you 10 million more people that Oshun has healed. When you come to Jesus, you have this peace of mind, peace that passes all human understanding. Who told you that the rest of us don't have peace? Enti oba jẹ gbi oni ku gbi. Enti oba wa wa ku wa kiri ọkàn ẹ má balẹ̀. Who told you that the rest of us don't have peace? If you have not done anything that is stealing your peace, you will have peace. Go and find out what is causing you not to have peace and deal with it. Maybe something that you did is what is eating your conscience day and night. You don't need religion to tell you that. You don't. And then the guy, as he was saying it, I was answering him. Then he ended up with, anyway, I know there's no other religion that gives us the hope of heaven. After this life, we will go to heaven. I said, what is heaven in Yoruba? He said, Orun. I said, in Ifa, Orun is Orun is an entity that exists. We came from Orun. You people are just going to Orun. They are promising you of Orun in the future. We understand the fact that Ikoli Orun lati wá sáyé, we came from Orun to this earth. We understand the fact that Orun is a thing that exists. We know it. So it's not religion that came to sell Orun to us. Then I asked the guy, where did your spirit come from? Because you people are hoping to gain heaven, to gain Orun. We understand that we came from there. We understand that spirit is not going to end up in one hellfire, and Orun is not a destination. Because if Orun is a destination, why did we have to come from there? So I asked the guy, where did your spirit come from? Where did human spirits originate from according to Christianity? He didn't have an answer to it. He did not have an answer to it. Because the only person that had interaction with spirit was Adam when God breathed spirit into Adam. Every other person, their mother passed spirit to them. Every other person, it looks like conception is what created their spirit. It doesn't make sense. But it is even way beyond that. You need to remember, recall. Your ancestors are speaking to you to remember. As a good Muslim, all your questions have answers. Trust me, they don't. Religion doesn't give you answers to those questions. It doesn't. This is not an argument, but I can tell you, without an iota of doubt, religion doesn't answer real human life questions. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. There is no form of religion that tells you who you are and what you are here to do. There is no form of religion that tells you who you are as a person and what your individual and specific purpose on this earth is. I mean, splitting it down to what career you are supposed to do, where you are supposed to settle down, what are your taboos, what medical challenges are you likely to have, what are the things that works for you, the kind of friends you are supposed to keep. Odrifa will tell you as far as Ashitefa Fene Monijowo, his Odu told him as far as he should not have a threefold friendship, meaning that you are a friend, you have a friend, then your friend now has a friend, you guys are now forming or a meta. His destiny does not allow it. As specific as that, there is no religion that answers this. There is no religion that tells you that. Every religion tells you are a servant of God, you are a child of God, you are just here to serve God. You are here to serve God. That's a very vague and broad and generic statement. There is no religion that treats you as the individual that you are. Individual. That knows that your life as a person has a set of rules and regulations that applies to you alone. That is what our people practiced. That is what Ifa is asking you to remember. Not a practice that puts everybody into a bunch. That gathers everybody together to follow specific sets of rules. No. When our forefathers practiced Ifa, people understand individual differences. The moment they know, you tell people, oh, this is the Odu Ifa, or they know your Odu. They know that when you come to a party, there are certain things they cannot serve you. When you go to a place and they want to serve fish, and your Odu Ifa says, do not eat fish, They know already. So when you turn down fish, nobody sees it as a disrespect to the host, because they understand that there are certain things you are not allowed to do. Odrifa tells some people, pé kán má rìn lóru, don't walk at night, don't walk in the dark. So when you go to pick up a job that requires you to close work in the middle of the night, you can tell your boss back in the day, the person that you are learning from or working with, that nínú Odrifa mi ò kí ń rìn lóru. The moment you mention it, the person knows, this one cannot take night shift. But look at what religion is selling to us. Which organization cares whether who cares? Some people's Odu does not allow them to wear certain colors, but they are trapped in a profession that is their everyday color. It is affecting their life on a daily basis, gradually. Back in the day, this Ifa that we are asking you to remember already understands. The mother and father of that child knows that that child does not have a business in that profession. He will not even buy the application form, let alone go for an interview there. And you are telling me that there is one Islam religion that will answer all of that. How? Àwọn kan wà tí Odrifa àwọn ò gbà kó wọṣọ dúdú. Some people's Odu does not allow them to wear black. Meanwhile, majority of the women that we see in Islam are covered in black. And you are telling me, you see, I want you to be open-minded when we talk about Ifa. This is not a fight against your religion. Put your religion aside and let's talk about you outside of that religion. You accepted that religion because that is what your parents did most of the time. Put it aside. Ask yourself, just what if my parents were not Christians and my parents were not Muslims and I am just a Yoruba person? How would I relate with the divine and supreme being that we call God? How am I going to relate with God? Let's take, for instance, that my world did not have any interaction with the East and with the West. You don't understand that a lot of the things that we are seeing in our society right now happening to people and society as a collective is because people are every day doing things that is against their taboo, things that is taboo for them has become their regular everyday practice of survival. And you are wondering why life is like this. And somebody is telling me, Islam will answer all of those. This is what this is about. It's okay.
Mo rò pé gbogbo wa not going back làwa náà ṣì ti rólé lórí o. Bọ́ ìgbà wo ni èmi ò mọ̀ o. Àkókò wo ni mi ò mà lè sọ. Bọ́ kí ni mo mọ̀? Mo mọ̀ pé gbangba. Ó dá mi lójú wípé lágbára lọ́wọ́ àṣẹ̀dá ọ̀rọ̀ wa dayọ̀, a bọ́ nínú oko ẹrú.